Good evening. At some point in our life, we all have thought of it. And even been a bit dramatic. I am different from others. But is that really true? Let me burst that bubble and try to prove it that we are very much similar to each other. I will explain it in a three-course meal. For the starters, we all have ever either heard or assumed and resonated with the idea of being different from others. That we all agree. For the main course, we find people like getting more connected when they share common name, place of work, the technology or things they work for, or the place they belong to, or even the people they dislike the most. For the result, almost all human beings have a 99.9% DNA same. It's just the 0.1% that makes all the difference. And I believe our Toastmaster clubs help us to hone that 1.1%. So moving on from 99.9% similar to 100% make the complete of today's meeting. We'll follow three simple rules. First, cell phones will be in silent mode. Second, we'll use the door at the back whenever we want to step in or step out, and when we hear an applause sound. Third, we depart from topics like sex, religion, and politics. Since we all are similar to each other, but the real difference makes the people who help us influence interactions. So for people, those who influence us, and that 0.1% difference are those people who help us to motivate, inspire, and influence us to be a better version of ourselves. I have met a such person even in my recent. Let me tell you about that person. It was a fine Friday afternoon. I visited Bangalore Toastmasters Club, our very own club. So as a guest, I interacted with all the members during the break. I also interacted with a particular member. I was so influenced, I was so amazed by the speeches and the input which I got from that member. I was like, okay, public speaking can also be this much fun and empowering. Subsequently, I joined the speechcraft course. During my speechcraft course, that member was a constant inspiration. Whether she was evaluating us, she was giving feedback, or whether they are table topics. All the evaluations were like a motivational speech for us. We all loved and enjoyed those sessions. Even when I was here on this same stage, giving my first icebreaker speech, I was really nervous. I was trying to calm myself. I was trying that breathing exercise and all. Then all of a sudden, I heard a very familiar voice wishing me all the best for my speeches. I turned back. I spoke to that person for 10 seconds, I think. Within 10 seconds, all my anxiety and the restlessness disappeared. I was confident. I was like, okay, I can go on the stage and give my first speech. That 10 seconds discussion was like a pep talk for me. I really appreciate the influence that person had made on me. And also, I believe if anyone is having any kind of anxiety or restlessness while going for a speech, just speak to that person. So please join me to welcome the person who never wishes to inspire us, our very own President, Toastmaster Amrith.
Can we have one big round of applause for our Sergeant at Arms? This is the first time he has given and taken this role. Let's have a big round of applause. Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
How are you doing today?
First class.
Very fine.
First class? I hope the heat is not affecting anyone, right? Okay, let's start with the meeting. I open meeting number 1524. Invite our Secretary Toastmaster Abhinava to read out the previous meeting's minutes.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
How are we doing today? Okay, I will not stress my announcement for too long. Last week's meeting was, the theme of last week's meeting was Ignite Your Voice. And the word of the day was emerge, which meant to grow out of the darkness. We had a last week's meeting, we had an icebreaker and marathon. And the awardees for the last week's meeting are as follows. The best speaker award went to Toastmaster Amisha Nagar. The best evaluator award went to Toastmaster Bhavana S. The best role taker award went to Toastmaster Veeresh J J for the general evaluator role. The best auxiliary role taker went to Toastmaster Smita Roshi for the grammarian role. The best table topic speaker went to Toastmaster Abhay Kothari. The total number of members present in the last week's meeting 30, and the total number of guests were 14. With that, I wish all of you a great meeting ahead. Thank you.
Any changes to the minutes? The minutes stand passed. Now I see a few faces, new faces in the audience. Can I request you to please stand, all the guests? Okay, all right. Thank you for joining us for today's meeting. I hope you enjoy. Members, how do we welcome our guests? There is a guest register next to the water dispenser. Please write your names and phone numbers so we can reach out to them, to all of you. In 1901, in New Orleans, a boy was born to poor black parents. After 1.5 years, his sister was born. But soon after, their father abandoned the family. Mother worked multiple jobs to take care of the kids, but it was not sufficient. The boy, at a very early age, started working to meet the ends. When he turned 11, he was sent to a reform house for firing a gun in the air on New Year's Eve. Now this may sound like a beginning of a downward spiral in the boy's life, but it was a turning point for him. The reform school had a brass band, and he was introduced to music. He picked up cornet and started playing and started to learn to play it properly. Very soon he joined the band as a leading member, and at that point of time he decided to become a musician. He worked really hard. He practiced, for hours. He kept on working with his dedication and passion, and slowly and steadily the word world started noticing him. Eventually, he became one of the most influential jazz singer, a musician that world has seen. I'm sure you must have heard these lyrics. I will try to sing, don't judge me. Well, I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Any guesses?
Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong, thank you. Well, Louis Armstrong, when he was he born with talent? Not really. But he had potential, which was hidden in the circumstances his family was in. But he overcame those circumstances and unleashed his potential. Dr. Joe Dispenza, in his book, Break the Habit of Being Yourself, shares that all of us, most of the time, live on autopilot. We wake up, we think the same thoughts, we feel the same, and our outer world remains the same. Our actions remain the same. He shares 3 ideas to transform our life. And those ideas I will share with you. Those are BCR. I know you all must have been thinking about RCB today because of the match. But just turn it around and it becomes BCR. Easy to remember, yes? So B is for becoming aware. Becoming aware of our thoughts. Are they limiting or are they helping me to move forward? C, changing our inner state. Now, whatever happens in the outside world is an exact reflection of our inner world. So if we change our inner world, the outer world will change automatically. And to do that, we have to intentionally and actively work on our thoughts and our feelings. And last is R, which is rehearsing a new future. So I have thought of what is my new future. I have created those thoughts in my mind and I'm feeling extremely elevated emotions of thankfulness, gratitude for what I have achieved. So you feel those emotions and think those thoughts and start acting as if it has already happened. So remember this, thoughts are for our mind, feelings are for our body, and actions are what are driven by our thoughts and feelings. Now there is one person I know who has, in the very short period of time that she has been with our club, has stretched herself and has tried to unleash her potential. When she joined Speechcraft, she was really shy and reluctant to speak. But in 1 year, she joined in April 2025. In 1 year, she has surprised all of us, hasn't she?
Yes.
Yeah. With her dedication, her commitment, and her positivity. She is a commerce graduate and she loves sports, sketching, and reading. When she was young, in her school days, she loved reading storybooks. Now she has picked up a liking for Sudha Murthy's books. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the ever-smiling, the charming, and and a little bit shy, Toastmaster Alagammai.
Thank you, President, for the wonderful introduction. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
If you use ChatGPT, when your answers depends on what is your question is. The simple question, simple answer. Sometimes we limit ourselves without knowing our potential. When we change our thinking, we will get a new result. So, first let us strengthen our basics. Basics means reading, writing, thinking and learning by experience, which unlocks the potential. Basics are like a foundations. If the foundation is strong, then everything built on it became more stronger and stable. Recently, I completed my accounting course. There, my friends use AI to prepare their assignments and projects. But after they are completing, they realized that they didn't get any benefit from the course. That time, they were very happy that AI is there, we can do it easily. But after completing the course, they realized that they did not benefit from it. So, if we need to improve ourselves or unlock our potential, we need. Anybody can guess it? Okay, a good mentor. All new Toastmasters were assigned by a mentor. So, mentor is a person who teach and guide us. I thank my mentor, Toastmaster Chaitra Chandapillai, who whenever I send her a speech, she patiently structures the speech and fixes my grammatical error. Till today, she does not say me to fix my error with the AI or get a content from here. Till now, she didn't say to me to do that. My motto to come to Toastmaster is to improve my speaking skill and also my writing. When you think on your own and draft an article or a speech or one presentation, the content will not go off your mind because the content was written by you, right? So, think on your own and get good ideas, and in few years you will be so creative in your thinking process. Every person has a unique content. Every person has a different idea, and every person expresses it in a different way. It makes so special. But AI gives you the common answer. But your thinking makes the original content. AI gives you the answer. But to get a good feedback for your speeches, you need a Toastmasters. So, feedback from a Toastmaster is so special for us because they give clarity on the speech. They say what to improve and what we did in a good manner. So, we need a Toastmaster to improve our speaking skills. The person who helped all the Toastmasters to unlock our potential is Ralph C. Smedley, who started Toastmaster International in 1924. Toastmaster presence in 140 communication and leadership. Every Toastmaster meeting has 3 sections. First section is prepared speech. In this section, all Toastmasters prepare their speeches in advance and they deliver their speeches in the section based on their educational path. Second section is table topic section. In this, there will be a table topic master who gives you a topic on this part, and we need to speak on the part. So it improves the impromptu speaking skill. And last section is evaluation section. In this, there is a general evaluator who evaluates the entire meeting and gives you constructive feedback. So I will introduce the general evaluator in later section. For general evaluator, there is a 3 people who are very important for him. They are called tag teams. T for timer, A for accountant, and G for grammarian. First, we shall welcome the timer. Timer is who lives. Timer is currently working in the IT field, and he is a Bangalorean. So let us welcome Toastmaster Likith for guidance.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'll be your timer. So we have 3 prepared speeches. The speeches will be 3 to 7 minutes long. Followed by we have the table topics. Table topics will be 1 minute. For the prepared speeches will be 3 to 7 minutes long. After 5 minutes, I'll be showing the green card. After 6 minutes, I'll be showing the yellow card. And after 7 minutes, I'll be showing the red card. And then that will be followed by the table topics. Table topics will be 90 seconds long. After 60 seconds, I'll be showing the yellow card. And after 90 seconds, I'll be showing the red card. And followed by that, the general evaluator's evaluation. That will be 3 minutes long. At 2 minutes, I'll be showing the green card. At 2.5, the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, the red card. So that is it.
will keep his mind more active. So let's welcome Toastmaster Naveen.
Good evening, fellow Toastmaster.
Good evening.
When I asked how do I improve my observation skills, my team members said you take a role, take a job. So today they have given me a job of observing the people and finding out who does the repeated, who uses the repeated words, crutch words like pauses, and etc. So I'll be observing very keenly on each one of your speeches and make a note of it, and by the end of it I'll be presenting my speech again. Words.
Thank you, Abhay. Last is Grammarian. He joined Toastmaster in April 2024 and he works in Number Metro, that is Bangalore Metro. So let's welcome Toastmaster Veeresh.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening. Good evening.
Grammarian is not just a role. I am the amicus curiae of the English language for today's meeting, appearing in the larger interest of the grammar. I had a friend whom we fondly called as Grammar Swami because he would kill the language at the drop of a hat. He would say, "Hey, come in slow motion, instead of saying come slowly." He would say, "Don't stand in front of my back," instead of saying don't stand behind me. So my humble submission to all of you is this: stretch your ideas and emotions as far as the imagination permits, but ignore grammar at your own peril. For what is a good speech if its own vehicle, which is the language, is riddled with structural defects? I will be counting all the good usages and the bad usages that you will be speaking on stage. And coming to the word of the day, it is stretch, which is to go beyond the comfort zone, which I just used in my sentence. I urge all of you to use this easy word in your speeches so that we can pick up this word in our day-to-day usage. Thank you.
Thank you, Grammarian. So let's move to the first section of the meeting, that is prepared speech. Before introducing the speaker, I would like to introduce the evaluator. He is auditor by his profession, and the interesting thing about this, he shares his birthday with Elon Musk. So let us welcome evaluator for the objective Toastmaster Ganesh Pai.
Other than birthday, I don't share anything else with one. The Toastmasters is a very good evening. Good evening. Good evening. The speaker is attempting project 1 from level 5 from the path motivational strategies. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to build a cohesive team and host an event. The purpose of this first speech is for the member to introduce the team building event they plan to host. Timer, please note speech length is 2 to 3 minutes. All the best to the speaker and back to Toastmaster.
The first speaker, he is an engineer by profession. He runs his own firm. He graduated from RB University of Engineering. He liked to walk in a beach, and he used to collect shells from the beach. So let's welcome our first speaker, Toastmaster Jacob Eapen, with the speech title Groundbreaking Toastmaster Jacob Eapen.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Toastmaster today. Imagine, after a hard day's work, you want to go back home. You want to go back home quickly. And your main objective is to fight the Bangalore traffic. To fight the potholes you find almost every other stretch of the road. To dull out the sound of the incessant horns which is in your ear. And believe me, it's the most dreadful experience when you find that at the end of the day, after doing a lot of hard work, you can't reach the sanctuary of your house. And to make matters worse, you get into your house, the home where you live, may be as old as yourself, maybe 50 years, 59 years, and you find that although you have adapted to the world around you, your house has not. And I don't know how it happens that every time I doze off to sleep, somebody presses the horn, or there is a fight with the dogs on the road, and you wake up. And believe me, the older you get, it's very difficult to go back to sleep again. I decided, even though it's heartbreaking to bring down an ancestral house, it had to be done, and we had to build anew. So I built a cohesive team, an architect friend who happened to study with me right throughout school, from 6 to 21, and of course, she became an architect and I became an engineer. So I also got hold of a builder who studied with me, and from the same college, RV College, and we put together this very cohesive team to put up a structure in the center of Bangalore, which would enable all of us in our family to sleep better. It would enable the house to be a shelter which keeps out the outside, which keeps the noise, the pollution, the air, the dusty air outside. So the event starts with a groundbreaking ceremony where we clear the old house, heartbreaking as it is, and we lay the foundation for a new. Thank you. So what follows will be in my next speech.
Thank you, Jacob, for your wonderful speech. Next, we can call the next evaluator for the objective. He said one of his friend, schoolmate, turned to a film actor. He played a role of Malharao in the serial. So let's welcome evaluator to read the guidelines, Toastmaster Sitanshuratan.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance her speech. Time manager, please note, speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the speaker. Back to you.
Our second speaker is, he has been in a committee as thrice as the Sajratams, Vice President Public Relationship and Vice President Membership. He currently working as the Tax Technology Sales Director at Alagammai. So, we welcome our second speaker, Toastmaster Karunakar Dev, with his speech title, Where Are We Failing? Where are we failing? Toastmaster.
Okay, the strength of the nation derives from the integrity of the house. Tonight, I'm going to ask you, what about the integrity of the road? My Toastmaster and fellow citizens, whenever we see a problem, be it a pothole, be it a garbage piling up, or the traffic that makes us question our entire life judgment, what is the first thing that we say? This country, these people, and this system. We are all fellow Bangaloreans here. It is a city of innovation where we are building AI innovation to solve global problems, but still we cannot predict if it is going to rain in next 10 minutes. We have Google Maps on our phone. We see green roads. But we are in the middle of the traffic thinking and wondering who is actually moving. That becomes a problem. Now, indifference, chaos, and the broken infra is something that we have seen day in, day out in Bangalore. And I believe for years that we are actually part of this broken system. Then I thought hard. And I thought, what if we are the part of the problem? And then I realized that there are a few lapses from our end which actually needs correction as well. I have a couple of Japanese friends at my work. And when I met them last time in my regional HQ in Pune, when I saw them unpacking the laptop bag, they had a specific section in the bag to deposit all the litter. And when I asked them, they said, even if they see a dustbin around, they are so conscious of making sure that they keep all these into their bag and discharge at their respective dustbins at their homes. Now, when I saw somebody a couple of days ago in Bangalore dumping garbage on the road, I judged him instantly. But then I noticed something. There were 5 people, including me, we walked past him. Nobody made a comment. And then it is not that we did not feel bad about it. We had this so what attitude. Is it going to impact me specifically? No. And it is also inappropriate or kind of awkward to address it that way. So we do not act. But then I realized the greatest problem is not the broken system. It is quite everyday avoidance that we follow. We all dream to have greater city, greater infra, but we need to question ourselves, are we doing it right on our part? Now, all these habits that we see become a bigger problem. I have seen in my life that there were times when we go out, we do not say enough dustbins. We haven't been taught the same in our school days as well. But think through this way. When I'm going out, when I'm driving, it becomes so difficult to see and judge because there are people who focus more on the screen guard on their phone than a helmet on their head. Driving through wrong sides, which can be so problematic for people at both ends. But we do not make comment. So it is important that at some point in time, we at least speak up. We address these problems. I know it can be awkward, but if we call it out specifically or randomly, like, hey Ganesh, try following the right path. Or saying, hey Abhay, make sure you're not throwing the garbage on the road. And you need to understand something very clearly, that it is because of the conscious choices that we are making, we are not progressing. At some point in time, when we see the broken infra, everything is in chaotic manner, it affects us mentally. And we feel that is how we are supposed to live. This is the chalta hai or nadi utte attitude that we all have in our life in some way. That needed to be changed. Now, having all these in our life, there is certain thing that we can question. When we have this specific question that where are we failing, we need to ask, is it important that we continue our life the way it is? Or we question our own instincts as well, that is it right on my part to just be a bystander and not acting on any of these at all? It becomes important when you realize that every day these avoidance can have an impact on your mind as well. And this is what we are even giving to our future generations as well. So next time, when you question that why are we failing, we need to ask, are we cautiously making sure that we are not prioritizing our convenience over our responsibilities? And the moment we see these changes happening, the moment a change happens in our behavior, are the moments we would really progress as an individual as a society.
Thank you, Karunakar Dev, for a wonderful speech. For the third speaker, we can call the evaluator. She is the one who is in the journey of exploring herself. Generally, she does not
the speaker is, the purpose of the project is for the member to observe their time management patterns. Timer, please note the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you.
Our last speaker for today, he has been Toastmaster for 12 plus years, and he served as the president of the club and also sergeant at arms. And he is currently working with a company called Solanus. Let's welcome our last speaker for today, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan Duraisamy, which is speech title Color Toastmaster Vaidyanathan Duraisamy.
I have a very special connection with one of the Toastmasters here in Bangalore Club. Whenever I visit the club, which happens once in a blue moon, if she happens to be there, then the next week, invariably, I end up traveling. Okay? It didn't happen once, it didn't happen twice, it didn't happen thrice, it happened many a times. Okay, I don't know whether it is coincidence or whether it is something else. I informed her that, are you coming next week? If you are planning to come, let me know. Because there will be a trip, obviously, okay, which comes in uninvited. But what happened a month ago, just out of curiosity or just to make fun, I shared a message to her saying, hey, are you planning to come to our club next week? If you're planning, then I will know. Immediately I got a response which is crazy. Okay? What I was about to communicate or what I intend to communicate was something which was humorous. But what I got in return was something which is remarkable, isn't it? So I felt that there is a complete disconnect between what I intend to communicate and what the recipient took. This is not the first time that has happened to me. It has happened many a times. Okay, whether I speak or whether I write, it invariably happens to me. Once in a while, if it is okay, then that happened multiple times to me. But I was trying to figure out what exactly can be the reason. So I'm a Toastmaster for the past 12 years. That means I can speak well, or at least I think that I can speak well. But no matter how much better I speak, but the person who is receiving the signal from me gets it completely different. So why? Maybe a week ago, I was flipping through a book which is written by Erickson, but his name is Erickson, Thomas Erickson, a Swede. The book is called Surrounded by Idiots. Okay, we all feel that we are good and that people around us are idiots, so that's why they are not able to really figure out what exactly you are trying to convey. There I found the answer. Why did this Toastmaster respond the way which I didn't expect her to respond? Because in this particular book, he classified people's behavior into 4 different buckets. One is called red. And the second one is called yellow. The third one is called green. And the fourth one is called blue. Have you ever read about this? Anybody? Okay. You have? Okay. When it comes to red, the personality types talks about people who are extremely direct, outgoing. They are extremely task-oriented. And then more importantly, when it comes to communication, they don't do this dilly-dally. It is either yes or no. That means direct communication. In case if I was responding to a person who is in the red type, then I cannot write all the stories in SMS. All that I need to do is, hey, are you planning to come to Toastmasters meeting on this particular day? She will respond yes or no. That's it. And the second type is called as yellow. They are extreme talkers, so they are Toastmasters, I believe. Okay, they speak a lot, but they act little. Right? So they are very jovial, their communication is very jovial. So with them, you can take the liberty to say what you want. If I was communicating to a person who had got that yellow in her, then I should have said, hey, I think we met last week, and then this is what has happened over the last couple of times. And are you planning to come? So there is a jovial conversation which can happen if the person is yellow. And the third one is called as green, and the author says 80% of the world's population are green. Okay, so that means they're lazy. Okay, so that means they don't even think of responding. Okay, they are extremely lazy. The amount of energy that they spend in not doing anything is much higher than the amount of energy that they spend towards doing something. Okay, that's the kind of personality. With them, the communication can be whatever you want to, but they can take the liberty to respond. Okay, they love gossiping, they love everything else, but they act little. So that's why we are surrounded by a lot of gossipers, right? So with them, you can take the liberty to communicate the way you want. Okay, so they don't mind. And then there is the fourth category, which is called as a blue category. So blue category, extremely analytical. They are very process driven, and they say, if you want to communicate to a person who is of the blue color, then you might need to figure out whether you really want to communicate, because they can hit you badly with their data. Okay? So be careful when you are communicating to a blue. In my case, if I was communicating to a person who is of the blue tint, then I should have said, hey, on 21st of October we did this and we met. I'm planning to be there on the 22nd of this month. Do you plan to be there? So the dates, the timings, everything matters for blues. Then you can elicit the response. But the funniest thing is, why is it so difficult to figure out whether they are blue, green, red, or yellow? Because people have multiple colors. Okay, so they say there will be one dominant color and one auxiliary color. So that means a man will be, or a man or a woman will be a mix of two colors, and they exhibit this color at the appropriate time. Right? In this particular case, there are two specific questions that I would like to ask. So how to identify a person to which color they belong to and what is their dominant color? There are two answers. One, read the book, or wait for my next speech, in which I can explain. And the second question I would like to throw is, what is the color of the person with whom I was communicating? I know for sure that I'm yellow. Okay, it's more of talk and more of gas and nothing happens. Okay? But the person with whom I am communicating, think through what color she belongs to. Because I asked a very jovial question and came the reply crazy. Single letter. Okay? You relate it to what the four different colors that I was talking about and check to which color she relates to. But guys, when the evaluator was talking about the project guidelines, she spoke about the timing, time management. Now you would have wondered what is the relationship between what I am saying and then what is time management. I stopped back on time. That's time management. Right? This is the project which I want to take it to the next speech as well, and I will use this as an example. How you need to tailor-make your speech so that you start on time and end on time. So that's the magic of time management. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vaidyanathan, for your amazing speech. Shall we have a huge round of applause for the three speakers? It is the time for the networking break. The timer, please note it is for 4 minutes, and the voting for a password for a voting link is 2426. Are you all excited for the next section?
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Okay, I need a lot of energy for this table topic, so we're going to have another good evening. We'll see whether this side or this side is louder. Okay, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Excellent. I love this energy. I want to tell you that there's been a lot of hype that this is the easiest table topic ever. The fact is, it's true. Okay. Now, today we are going to go on a extraordinary journey where people will come speak spontaneously. Now, the good part is we are going to have the most creative story ever. Now, what do I mean? I am going to give a prompt, right? And then I am going to give a genre. It can be crime, comedy, whatever. The person who comes up will speak for 1.5 minutes. The person who I call after that will continue that story. But the genre will change. Okay? It could move from comedy, it could become crime. Right? From Vivek Oberoi, it could become Aishwarya Rai. Right? Anything is possible in life. Right? So, without further ado, the prompt that I am starting with is, I woke up and instead of my ceiling, I saw the sky. The genre is romance. And I would like to call on a very eligible bachelor of our club, Puneet Surana. Please put your hands.
With the heat in Bangalore, especially at nights, I'm sure each and every one of us have woken up in the middle of the night, not for anything romantic, but to turn up the fan. I would dream of an open sky above me. It takes me back to my childhood when summer vacations were in either Hyderabad or Kothari, and because we were all cousins stuffed into the house, there wouldn't be enough space. So you would naturally sleep on the terrace. Oh, those were amazing mornings. Because you would be woken up not by your mom saying, "School ka time ho gaya, utho," or the kaam wali bai, but you'll be woken up by beautiful, crystal clear skies in a dark, deep blue shade. And birds, hens, dogs, just like that, would wake you up. I miss those days. If there was romance in waking up, there's Monday blues, but I'm sure the blues you see on an open sky is nothing like it. I wish I had those back. The birds agree with me, and with that, I hand it back to Aranha.
Thank you, Puneet, for taking us on a nostalgic drive. Though he went on a, he gave us a mirage. I needed a story. But I'm going to take one part of what he said, which is he woke up, he saw birds. Evidently, you fell in love with them, I'm guessing, right? So, having said that, I'm going to start the story again because he has not started this story and taken it anywhere. So, I woke up and instead of the ceiling, I saw the sky. To take this on a comedic route, may I call on Shreya?
I woke up and instead of ceiling, I can see the sky. And how I woke up is, it's not because heat or anything. I started feeling some like raindrops on my face. I thought, okay, it might be my mom waking me up with the splash of water on my face because I'm just so stubborn to not get up. So I thought that, but then I got up and I saw it's started to rain and it was tense. So I thought of jumping down, this first floor. So not anything crime or anything. I am a very positive person. So I thought let's just jump this one floor, but no, I'm not that athletic also to save, not athletic or a cat, to just jump and land on my feet. So I thought let's just go back to my room, and that's what I thought, but couldn't happen because the reason why I woke up without seating, that's because I was not in my home. I was not in my own room. I was deserted in some place, and I don't know how I got there. Maybe because I don't know. In the future, I would have some criminal. I would have put them in the jail. So that's why maybe when I was sleeping, they gave me a sleeping pill, and then they made me sleep in the desert. But this definitely they has not taken a comedic instead of a little bit horror. So with that, I'll give it back to you.
Thank you, Shreya. In a very comedic route, you explained all the genres possible and gave a lot of ideas to the next speaker about what they can speak about. Now that you have figured out that you are in the middle of nowhere and you don't know where you are, the next speaker will continue your story, and may I invite Divya to take this story forward and add her tinge of suspense to the proceedings. And she is giving suspense by taking the long route and coming. Okay. Please put a huge round of applause.
I woke up one day and instead of the ceiling, it is the sky. Adding to what Shreya also mentioned here, thank you, table topic master. I would like to say that this was in a car, so the entire roof of the car is completely gone. And the reason for why that entire, so I was on a road trip and suddenly there's like a snowstorm, like a what do you call it? A hurricane that had actually come in my way. So when that hurricane came, the entire wind around it completely just went off. So in the car, somehow I survived, and in that survival mode, what has happened to the entire roof is that it's just blown off. But somehow I've survived. And when I have survived, I've just completely, this is in the night that it happened. So what has happened is that I've just dozed off. I've just completely been super tired and I just slept. When I've done that, and I wake up in the morning, I see the sky instead of the ceiling. And I'm wondering, I'm looking at my phone trying to get any record of what happened. But my battery is down. I am not able to charge what is happening. Like I'm not able to charge anything at all. There is no fuel. So I don't know what to do about what's the next step. And when I'm looking around, if anybody has survived or any form of life that is there, I am not seeing any of it. So I am trying to desperately find what is going to happen, and I give it back to the top master.
Thank you, you really added a lot of suspense to the proceedings. Now, may I call on our very own Balakrishna to add a horrific start to being in the car and wondering where you are. Don't have to be so horrified that you don't move. Okay, please come and add a horrific start. Okay, thank you.
Today I was deciding whether to come or not. Maybe that was one of the horrific decisions I made. But anyways, horrific while driving the car. Probably one experience I would like to share. Because sometimes we wonder that cars have something life or not, right? But we treat them during either puja, there is a life and all of this. So one such thing happened wherein I was driving on a highway, very short one, and then I was listening to music, so I was in the flow. I was about to take a right turn, okay, and the vehicle stopped, and it was in second gear, vehicle stopped, and suddenly I saw a minor truck went past. so fast. If I had made that turn, I wouldn't have been here. Okay? And so the horrific thing is the moments that happens, whether driving is one which I had to get, but there are many instances that happens, probably it gives you a thinking then that okay, maybe there's something that was there to save you, that was not always there, somebody to guard you and so on. So one such incident which was very horrific, and for a couple of nights I was just thinking on this part of car driving, the horrific incident and other things. So that is the top of mind thing that came up now when you mentioned car and horrific. That's what I could stitch. But yeah, that's my take on this topic.
Now we're going to have a new story, and someone will take it up from that prompt. Falling from a building, I pinched myself to wake up from the dream and realized I was not in a dream. To take this forward in the genre of adventure, may I call on Alok Simha. Please give him a huge round of applause.
F is equal to MA. mg square, I think that G is gravity, G is equal to 9.8 meter per second square. Wow. I was at the 76th floor. How do I know it was the 76th floor? Because I started falling from the 76th floor. I had walked all the way up from the ground floor to the 76th floor because I thought I could pull this off. Because I was experimenting this new thing of slowing down gravity. I had watched movies. I always had a scientific temper. That's why I'm remembering all these formulas. I always knew I had a scientific temper, and 76 seemed to be the right number. I could fall from the 76th floor of a building, then get down to the floor number 10, and after that apply principles of physics, chemistry, and also thermodynamics to make sure that I could slow down and hit the floor without having a scratch on my body. That was the theory I had that I had found over 20 years of research after 10 years of schooling. So I was 30, 35, mature enough to take this decision. I didn't tell this to anyone, but I wanted to make sure that I tried this. That is why I walked up to the 76th floor and I jumped from there. And here I was at floor number 40 when I realized that I had missed meter per second squared in my formula. Now meter per second squared, if I had missed, what would be the ramifications of that? Oh my God, please find out.
Thank you. That was mind-blowing and went above the mind also. Now, to give this scientist a romantic flair as he's going down and taking down all of us, may I call on Gautam, Toastmaster Gautam. Gautam, you can smile, it's a romance.
So, I was falling from the 76th floor of the building and I was not dreaming. When I pinched, I realized that I was daydreaming. I was daydreaming that I was sleeping in the middle of the day in the office and I was watching this dream. I was falling down at an acceleration of F is equal to mg, I think, where g is 9.8 meter per second. And when I was falling, I was thinking of all the mistakes I did in my life, and biggest thing that I realized was overthinking. So I thought I should leave all the thermodynamics and everything and just extend my hands like Shark and ride like a hero. And then I see falling at a speed of where G was 19.8 for her, was Aishwarya Rai. And she was a cat, and the cat had 9 lives, which saved me, and I'm in the second life.
He ended on a very interesting end by mentioning Aishwarya. Many people who were sleeping also woke up. Right? So, taking that forward and adding a little bit of action, Doom variety where Aishwarya is there, may I call on our dynamic hidden filmmaker of Bangalore Toastmasters, Srinivas V. Please give him a huge round of applause.
As me and Aishwarya is falling down from the 76th floor, think that we are shooting. We are shooting with a high-speed camera of IMAX. That's the first time only one director could make it. The second director is none other than me. Yes, we had a hidden rope just right behind me, and Aishwarya Rai could not able to find the rope. Literally, she is falling from the top to the bottom, and luckily I could grab her. It did become a film, it's become a real love story. Later, every Friday evening, I'll get a call from her. Srinivas, where are you? Even today, she calls me and asking for a dinner. But unfortunately, I denied it because I have much better things to do at BDMC. To meet you, to greet you, and moreover, continue my actions journey, I need to make more and more films in real life. Back to you.
Thank you, Srinivas. For many people, when they look at Aishwarya, it is Mission Impossible. But he has made Aishwarya for him Mission Impossible, which was a remarkable feat on by itself. So, having said that, just to take off from where he left off, may I call on? Let me start another prompt. Okay. In this prompt, a person wakes up, but this time they are chained and they are in a dungeon. Okay? To give this story wings of horror, may I call on Suraj Rao. Please put a huge round of applause. Give him a huge round of applause.
It was night and it was raining very heavily, and I noticed that my hands were tied to the back and I was not able to move freely, and there was no sense of life or no sense of any other person inside that place. I tried to move my legs and I noticed that it was a very closed room in where there was no source of light or even water to drink to quench my thirst. I noticed that there were loud bangings on the window. Tar, 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 tar. I didn't notice who was that. And then I saw this side, there was loud howling of the wolves. And I didn't understand where am I? How did I come to this situation? And I noticed I finished my speechcraft at Bangalore Toastmasters Club that Friday, and I went to a place where my friends called that Friday night for a party, and somehow we sat in a jeep, and I noticed that we went in a place where I said to my friend, don't go. That was the last thing that I remember, and I remember ended up being in a dungeon right now. Back to Toastmasters.
Thank you,
Suraj. I didn't know as part of horror you would mention Bangalore Toastmasters also. That was not the idea. But anyway, from this dungeon experience, if someone was to take a comedic route to the whole thing of being stuck while being chained thing, there's no better person I can think of than Toastmaster Richard D'Souza. So please give him a huge round of applause.
Master, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, I was in dungeon where I was an immigrant in America, had no passport. I had entered through boat, sometimes through walking, and I was naturally caught. And the present ruler of America, Donald Trump, what he does, he doesn't know, and there is no control over his subordinates. His subordinates are more cruel than him. But ultimately, I have to save my team. Therefore, I had to be very much humorous with the people who were assigned to take care of me. And I had plenty of jokes, and I knew them. Therefore, I tried to amuse them with fun, and believe me, I was able to tell them, impress upon them the necessity of being good will certainly make them also. Because whatever peace you give to others, you will get it. Quite possible that I might be in difficulty, but God will certainly see that you will be saved from your difficulties, and I did it marvelously. Over to table.
Thank you, Toastmaster Richard. This is a creative story. We can all take creative liberties. I'm just going to say that he woke up, he was in a dungeon with chains, and that person happens to be Donald Trump. Okay? And taking that forward, it will be very interesting if Donald Trump now goes on a romantic route. Okay? And for that, can I call on Muralidhar Kopala? Please give a huge round of applause. Muralidhar is blushing. Come on, Muralidhar.
If I am in a dungeon, unchained, I would just ask my Siri, "Hey Siri, play some romantic songs." What else can I do than dancing with my legs if my hands are tied? So I would start playing the songs. I usually like, of course, the romantic songs. I like it, I hum it, but then I realized that somebody started to knock the door. I don't know why. And I also went close by with the tight shades, only to realize that there is also another person next to the dungeon, and she is also crying for help. That's when I realized, tried to increase my volume again using the Hey Siri. Hey Siri, can you increase the volume? And then there used to be a second humming voice coming from the other side of the wall. Then I realized that she is also a fan of the same songs which I played. Then we started to do the communication. What brought you here? And the same thing told that one day a dream table topic master had asked for a story for which she ended up landing here. Then we came together in the humming, and then we enjoyed the current moments and waited for the next Toastmaster to take it forward.
Wow. AI, since he spoke about ChatGPT, it has to end with the genre of sci-fi, which is technology based. And to end off this table topic, may I call on Annamalai to end this table topic session. Please give a huge round of applause for Annamalai.
Well, being stranded in the unknown space, I pull out my phone, open ChatGPT, and I'm asking, where am I? Because that's the question that comes to my mind the first time. So, my battery is getting low. It is almost going to reach 0. I got only 2% of battery, the entire battery. Now I'm asking the question, where am I? Please help me. Please locate me in the Google Maps so that I can find some nearby exit from this place. So it tells me, it suggests me a route, a clear route. Just go straight, and then on your left side you will find a door. I follow it. I follow it as it says. I go straight. I find a left side door on my side, on the left side of you, and then I try to open it. It is locked. I cannot think of doing anything else. And then I say it to the ChatGPT, and it points to another window which is on my right side. I see a window there. It is locked. I try to open it. I see outside. The world I see outside is completely different from what I remember from my memory. Because everything that I see outside is inhumane. It is a very cruel place to be in, I would say. Because I could not see a single life, any form of life outside. Everything was missions and quadcopters and UAVs flying around everywhere. And I got to know at this point that I was done. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. It was extraordinary being a table topic master. I just want to tell you it's incredible to see that everyone who signed up got to speak. Secondly, everyone spoke for more than a minute, which is extraordinary. And just remember, when you did this table topic and spoke, you not just made your story better, but you collectively made each other's story better. On that note, congratulations to all of you, and thanks for the audience for encouraging everyone who came up on stage. Back to the Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you, Toastmaster Alan, for an amazing session. Please give a huge round of applause for him. Now it is the time to introduce our general evaluator. By profession, he is an engineer at Bosch Global Software Technology in Bangalore, and he is also a foodie and biker. He has a photo on a Google map that has been more than 10,000 views. But put your hands together to welcome our general evaluator, Toastmaster Abhay Kothari.
A very good evening to all Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
And welcome to the general evaluation session for meeting number 1524. Now, when we talk about general evaluation in Toastmasters, I look at it in this way. This is only my view of the meeting and nothing else. And what I'm going to say today is only based on what I've learned from all the members of this club over the last 8 or 9 years. So, in telling what you need to, or in suggesting what you need to do better, I'm only telling you what you have told me in the last few years. So, to get started with, I think what we'll do today is we'll call on each of the speech evaluators first, and then I'll get into the general evaluation session for all the roles. Now, the first speaker was Toastmaster Eapen, and he is being evaluated by Toastmaster Ganesh Pai. I request Toastmaster Ganesh to please come up on stage and provide his evaluation. Round of applause for Toastmaster Ganesh.
For Toastmasters and guests, a very good evening. There is a saying in Kannada, Mane katti nodu, madeve maadi nodu. For uninitiated in Kannada, it means get married, try to build a house. Both are audacious and arduous in equal measure. And Toastmaster Jacob Eapen is ushering into a journey of reconstructing his ancestral house, and that's the event and building up a team for that. And the project was all about giving us a sneak peek into that. Let's see how the speech unfolded and what are some of the highlights of it. First and foremost, he introduced his kick-ass team for the project, the architect, engineers, the builders, so all the protagonists who are going to help him realize his dream. Second was about the event itself, which is reconstructing the house, and he gave a fair bit of texture in terms of the ancestors' house, why it needs to be built, and we could understand why exactly this project is needed. And also he laid out clearly next steps in terms of the groundbreaking ceremony. So it was not something that he's dreaming of, but this is a reality and something which is here and now. So that was very well. What are some of the things which could have elevated the speech? I thought the prelude was rather too long in terms of the roads, the potholes, and the bombs. I thought we could have possibly, we could have removed that and straight away got into the project. That would have worked well, because I didn't think it really added any meaningful value to the project. Second was, whilst you told about the time next steps, but the timelines were slightly hazy, or rather were not really told. So if you could give some color around what is the your wish list, at least in terms of the end date, whilst it never happens when you plan, but still at least some color on that would have helped. And you possibly could have attempted ending the speech with some intrigue, right? Say something like, we intend to rebuild this by 1 year, but little did I know what it takes to complete a year. So that we could have, it would have left us with some suspense and surprise element for us to look forward to the next speech. All in all, a good speech gave a peek into the adventure you are stepping into. And if you could do a bit of interior decoration, if I may say, with suggestions I made, I think you are surely on your way to build a handy line in Bangalore. So all the best to the project and your next speech. All the best. Thanks.
Thanks for that clinical evaluation, Toastmaster Ganesh. And a big round of applause to both the speaker and the evaluator. Our next speaker was Toastmaster Karunakar Dev, and to evaluation, let me please call on Toastmaster Shetty. Okay, I think Ratan is going to come back in a moment. So we'll move on to the third evaluator. So may I please call on Toastmaster Priyanka Rannorey to evaluate the third speaker, Naveen.
Very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and your guests. The purpose of the project is for the speaker to observe their time management pattern. Today our speaker shared an informational speech on different behavioral patterns and very smartly tied it to the time management pattern by sharing a simple personal story. The two highlights I truly enjoyed about your speech. One is your storytelling ability, and it is one of the best ways to connect with the audience. Your story demonstrated the important components of stories, which involves struggle, a situation, and resolution. And the resolution you tied up with the behavioral pattern that you comprised the situation that you came across. The second that I really liked was the tonality, and that is something that kept the audience engaged throughout your speech. Now, to make the speech more engaging, there are two things I would like to suggest. First, you could have had your introduction more engaging by asking questions to the audience, as this is something that a lot of us have a challenge when it comes to time management. and tie your story to it, as it could have distinctively got the time management pattern in your situation. Second would be the conclusion. I felt you abruptly ended the speech by saying the red card, though you smartly connected with your project. But according to me, the takeaway that I got was more on the behavioral pattern than on the time management pattern. So that is something that if you could pay more attention. All in all, a nice engaging story. A little attention on the suggestions, engaging the audience, and a strong conclusion with the message would have been the icing on the cake. Wishing you all the best for your future speeches.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyanka, for that evaluation. I just have one question for you, Priyanka. Did you think that the speaker met the guidelines?
Not a big.
So maybe we could state that next time. So because it feels like someone has given an exam, but you haven't declared the results, right? All right. So meanwhile, our second evaluator has returned. So may I please call on Toastmaster Shetty to evaluate Toastmaster Karunakar.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my target speaker in particular. Toastmaster Karunakar, this is the project wherein we would like to see the body language as well as the vocal variety. And the project gives you the option of either choosing the body language or the vocal variety and focusing on the same. Now, so Karunakar, as I spoke with you, you wanted me to focus on both the aspects. And when it comes to the body language, I was overall able to see a very fluent and natural body language. The one aspect where I would, I'll come to the improvement, suggestion for improvement a little later on. Where the vocal variety was concerned, I really loved the emphasis on modulating your voice, and that comes very naturally to you, Toastmaster Karunakar. And I must again reiterate the fact that vocal variety is a very big strength with you. And that said, let me come to the purpose of this speech. The purpose of this speech is to emphasize on these two aspects, as well as the message that the general purpose for me was to persuade, and the specific purpose was to speak about the cleanliness and hygiene in society, and the Indian society in particular. Now, where did you, how could you make your speech in such a way that you were able to achieve that purpose in a better way? So this is your third speech. In the second speech and in the earlier speeches also, you worked on the structure of the speech. So the structure is one place where you could have used the conclusion of the speech in order to emphasize the purpose, which was about the cleanliness and about persuading the audience. So how you could have done that was probably ask that question once again: where are we failing? Please look into your own selves, within yourself, and please tell me if you know the answer. Where are we failing? So that emphasis to reiterate the purpose is one thing that would have helped. To summarize the body language, a little bit of open body language, because if you speak with Karunakar, you will always see him animated. And I don't know why that animation got a little constricted, but that would definitely have helped you. That said, your strengths came across very well, and the purpose was met. You could do a little better to take it to the next level. All the best for your future speeches.
So as the evaluate or comment upon or suggest to the evaluators on what they have done best and what needs to be done better, and not really comment on the speaker themselves. So I thought today, Ratan, we could maybe perhaps put a little bit of structure to your evaluation as well, because I thought you got a little bit off track. So you will use the first minute till the green card is up to praise the speaker, the next minute for your recommendations, and after the yellow card is up, maybe you can just quickly summarize and wind up. And Karunakar's project is probably based, is not probably, but is based on aspects of vocal variety and body language. So you could have touched upon the 4 pillars of vocal variety that are pitch, pace, power and pause, and how he used them, because you told them vocal variety is his strength and how he played to that. So maybe the audience could learn from your depth of analysis where he did really well and where he could improve on. And on body language as well, like you just said, okay, he could have been open, but specific suggestions where he could have been open, how he could have done that. I think that would have made a lot of impact on his speech as well. So let's take it up from this way next time. And but anyway, great job done in terms of the evaluation as well. So all the best to the speaker, and round of applause to both speaker and the evaluator. Okay, now I would request the tag team to give their reports. So I will call on the timer for the day. Toastmaster Likith, can you please come up and provide your report? Round of applause, please.
Okay, so today the meeting started at 6:31, and then Govind for the essay, he went on for 4 minutes 50 seconds, followed by the President Amrith. Your speech was for 9 minutes 39 seconds. And then TMOD, Alagammai, slightly above time, 11 minutes 19 seconds. And then you took around a minute to introduce each evaluator, so that was fine. And then for the prepared speakers, speaker 1, Toastmaster Jacob, you had set a time limit of 2 to 3 minutes. And your speech was 3 minutes 7 seconds. Speaker number 2, Toastmaster Karunakar, your speech was 6 minutes 21 seconds. Speaker 3, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan, your speech was also slightly above time, 7 minutes 36 seconds. Evaluator 1, Toastmaster Ganesh, just on time, 2 minutes 53 seconds. Evaluator 2, Toastmaster Ratan, slightly above time, 3 minutes 22 seconds. Evaluator 3, Toastmaster Priyanka, 1 minute 57 seconds. Table topics, we had time of 1 minute 30 seconds. Considering the topics, I think half of them were almost bang on time, half of them were slightly under time, but I think everyone utilized their time, around 90 seconds. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, next we have our counter, Toastmaster Naveen. Can you please come up and provide a report? Give a round of applause.
Since I am doing this for the first time, I was a little confused, and I was also, carried away when people were talking. I was just observing. When somebody speaks, if I carried on with their speech, probably I was not able to mark it like that. With probably 1 or 2 people, I might have missed a few of their counter. But with my observation, whatever I have done, I would like to tell. There are a few people. Mr. TM Abhinava Shastry, TM Jacob, TM Karunakar Dev, Vaidyanathan, TM Vaidyanathan, TM Alok Sinha, TM Priyanka. These people made 0 mistakes, and other people like Govind, Alagammai and Likith, Divya, Balakrishna, Balakrishna, Suraj Rao, Richard, T.M. Richard D'Souza, T.M. Muralidhar, T.M. Annamalai, T.M. Abhay Kothari, T.M. Ganesh, T.M. Sitanshuratan Shetty, made several use of their R counters. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that comprehensive report. Our counter 4 hours and 3 long calls during that order. Next we have our grammarian. May I please call on Toastmaster Veeresh to give us
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
I have noted some of the good usages and not so good usages. So let me start with the good usages. Help us own. Beginning of a downward spiral. Unleash his potential. Sanctuary of your house. Not prioritizing our convenience over responsibilities. They don't do this dilly-dally. You can elicit a response. You collectively made each other's stories better. For the uninitiated in Kannada. Now coming to the not so good usages. Please join me to welcome. Could have been please join me in welcoming. And last is R. Could have been lastly is R. A little bit shy. Could have been a little bit of shyness. Walk in a beach. Could have been walk along the beach. These country, these people. Could have been this country, these people. Now, they made me sleep with the desert. Were you referring to the desert as a location or a name of a person? Just kidding, put it together. I'm sure it is the name of a person. They made me sleep in the desert. Now, our own producer, romantic producer, director Shri was as me, and Aishwarya is falling from the top. It could have been as Aish and I are falling from the top. Then we started making the communication. Then we started communicating. Thank you for your attention. And the word of the day was used by one person, and that is me. If anybody else used, please raise your hands so that I should pronounce the name. Okay, thank you and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Veeresh, for that comprehensive report. It's also been a tradition in Toastmasters, especially also in Bangalore Toastmasters, to never name the speaker who made a grammatical error. So you could say one person said this, and I think that person would automatically realize. Lesson for all of us. Thanks for reminding me. And now let's begin with the role takers who made this wonderful meeting so wonderful. And I came in at around 5:30 or thereabouts, and I saw that the room was already set up. Sergeant at Arms, the acting Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Govind was, spending a lot of time writing the board, and he rubbed it many times and wrote it, and he's done it so very well. He organized the room very well, and he also started the meeting on time. I think the timer mentioned we started at 6:31. That's okay because they had some mic problem at the start and they had to correct it, so that's totally fine. And Govind, you did a wonderful job opening. You had good energy. You spelled out the rules very well, and then you started your own prepared speech. So, as a first-time acting Sergeant at Arms, if you were to make a good impression on the audience, like if you were going to an interview for the first time, what would you do? You prepare really well and you only speak as much as you would require. So I think the same thing applies over here. So just take care of that a little bit, and I think you did a phenomenal job. Good round of applause for those. Alright, next we had our president who came in with a wonderful smile, opened the meeting and promptly called on the secretary to read out the minutes and passed the minutes in accordance with the tradition. And she dotted all the T's and crossed all the I's and gave a wonderful message about Louis Armstrong, the jazz musician. And I think that sums up our president. She's been doing this for some time now, and she's really gotten into the groove. And she's been giving out a lot of nice motivational messages, motivating the audience from time to time with her presence on stage and also off stage. We've had a lot of good connections with her, I'm sure. And Toastmaster Amrith, if I may give you one suggestion, is that in Bangalore Toastmasters we have a tradition to request the guests to please rise, not stand up. So we may use that and then ask them to please take their seats. And I thought today you sort of missed introducing your committee members to the audience as well, so maybe that's for next time. And Toastmaster Abhinava, as secretary, you've been doing the amazing job of sending out the minutes regularly, on time, every week, and also coming up on stage and reading all the minutes with so much precision and so much done. So, job well done. Please give a big round of applause for our president. Well, we had 3 first-timers today. The first time acting Sun comes, the first time team Modi, and also the first time our counter. And when I'll come to the TM Modi now, so she was really well prepared, and she had reached out to me last Sunday and she had asked my introduction. I think she had done that for all the road makers. She had a good introduction. She connected with the audience really well. She had a good sense of what she had to do, and she did everything really well. And I think that she's like the bridge, or let's say that if the meeting is the bridge, then I think our TMO day today was really the strings that hold the bridge together. And she carry on the meeting with so much precision, and she didn't project herself, she rather projected all the speakers, all the role takers and the evaluators so well. And Alagammai, I have 3 suggestions for you. First one is, if you're lost in between, it's okay to use cards. If you look at very big events, MCs always hold cards. So you could do that in Toastmasters as well. Not a problem at all. And since this is the first time, I think that would have really helped your case as well. The second thing is, you've got to say the speech title before calling on the speaker. Because the moment you call on the speaker, the audience is in the mode to applaud. And then the speech title is not really well heard. And sometimes the speech title makes a really good impact on the audience as well. It elevates their curiosity. So maybe you could say the speech title first and say, now I welcome Toastmaster so and so, and give them a big round of applause and call them onto the stage. So that's silly. And connect between each speaker. You just said thank you. And I think thank you is a little too little for Bangalore Toastmasters, so you could give a little bit of a connector between each speaker and say something to. And there's one more thing that I'd like to mention. I think spelling out people's names and also saying details from their introduction. I think that needs to be focused on a little bit, especially for the first time. I know that we made a little bit of error, so maybe we could look at that next time. All in all, very well done. Great job. Round of applause for Toastmasters. Table topic master who conducted this session with a lot of power and a lot of elan. And when Toastmaster Alan comes in as table topic master, that is all you can expect. And I think he lived up to the promise that this will be the easiest table topic session. Is it or not? Okay, Alan, you have your answer now. And he's been promoting this table topic session, with a lot of videos, and very uniquely he's been doing all this. And the thing that I really liked about Alan's performance on stage today, he was such an enabler. He chose the topics and he chose the people really well, called them out to the stage and made them speak for a lot of time. And in the end, he gave a nice report, like a tag report or a overall summary, and then wound up his session. Such a wonderful way to conduct a table topic session. Thank you so much for doing this, and you made a lot of people really happy today. So thank you so much, Alan. Big round of applause for Alan. The voting links are open and the voting code is 2426. I repeat, 2426. Please vote for the best role takers. And it is now time for me to sign off. I thank the committee for this opportunity and thank you all for listening and being such a wonderful audience. Back to the team.
To unlock our hidden potential, we should always add our own thought and write in our own words. I thank the committee for giving me the opportunity, especially Srinivas and Amrith. With this, I hand over the stage to the president.
Can we have a big round of applause for all the role takers and all the speakers who came on stage? When I joined the club, when I joined Toastmasters, there is something which I noticed, and that is the unique mission statement. Can somebody tell what is the Toastmasters mission statement?
It provides mutual supportive environment for the members to grow as good leaders and good speakers.
Good leaders and good speakers. Now, good speakers is obvious. Everyone comes here to speak. But good leaders, I had that question for a very long time, and I was like, how come Toastmasters makes good leaders? And the answer came over time. One is definitely when you take up the meeting rules. And second is when you take up a role in the executive committee. And one of the roles which really requires you to, or enables you to become a leader, and that is Vice President Public Relations. Now, as Vice President Relationship, you not only have to share every weekly meeting details and posters, you also have to take care of the website, the social media, and you need to maintain Toastmasters brand identity across all platforms. Now, as if it was not enough, there was one more responsibility that Toastmasters gave, and that is to publish a newsletter in each term. And for a club like ours, which is huge, it is not a small task to contact and reach out to all members and get their stories and their inputs. Now, I would not say much, but I would like to invite now our Vice President Public Relationship to unveil the newsletter. The time, she has spent a huge time, and I would like her to share her journey with all of us. With big round of applause, please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Bhavana.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
An apple for me might mean a fruit, but for you all it might mean iPhone. And that is what I received from all your stories. I got different kinds of responses for just 4 questions I asked, and it was interesting. Some were inspiring, some were humorous, and some I felt genuinely connected with. And I felt that I was living that story, and I felt that was very relatable to me. This is what I wanted my newsletter to be all about. I wanted it to be raw and unfiltered. I wanted your unfiltered stories in this newsletter. The title of the newsletter is, oh well, that is going to be a suspense. You will all know once we unveil it. I would love to call upon Toastmaster Abhay and Toastmaster Shreya on stage. I am really grateful for Toastmaster Abhay and Toastmaster Shreya. Toastmaster Abhay helped me with all the proofreading part, and Toastmaster Shreya helped me with story collection, reaching out to you all, and I knew that I could trust these two without any worry and lie to me. And thank you so much for helping me throughout whenever I asked you for my help. love to thank Anand for helping me because when he was a VPPR, I was in a subcommittee, and it is because of him I learned all my camera skills, and huge thanks to him. To unveil this newsletter now, I would request the most senior member present in this room, Toastmaster Richard D'Souza, to unveil this newsletter.
I am super excited, and I'm waiting for my copy to be handed over very soon. And with that, for our best auxiliary role taker, we have our grammarian Toastmaster Veeresh. We have Toastmaster, our general evaluator, and our table topic master, Toastmaster Abhay and Toastmaster Alan. Table topics today. The winner is someone who shared his love for science, Toastmaster Alagammai C. In fact, most of us, I'm still feeling that I'm on floor 76. Okay, Best Evaluator Award goes to Toastmaster Ganesh Pai. And Best Speaker Award. Well, again, this is, some people, they show up very exclusively. But when they show up, they present their speeches without even knowing or their project details. But again, for a well done and a brilliant speech, Best Speaker Award goes to Toastmaster Vaidyanathan. With that, I adjourn meeting number 1524. To all the speakers, to all the guests, please meet Toastmaster Balakrishna, our Vice President membership, for a briefing outside the room. You can collect your snacks. And can I request all the members and even everyone present in the room to come on stage for a group picture along with our newsletter. Please come.